All right. Welcome everyone to uh, this evening's cast of Antocalyptica versus Jonasty. And I accidentally had my own stream open, so I heard myself, which is a very confusing sound to hear. Joining me for this series of games is Elkron or Crony or Leopold or Kron, whatever we will call
Thank you
him.
for the introduction, neutral Wouter. I already feel very, very welcome.
I
I
will try
hope
to
I
stick
will.
to Kron, but a Sander may slip out occasionally.
I hope I will live up to your expectations today.
There are no expectations, so you will live up to them. I am
That's good.
supremely confident. All
So,
right,
who are we watching today? I see we have Jonasty and the infamous Antocalyptica today.
making his
Big
first
match.
appearance in the Fristi Roggan Cup.
Yes,
Uh,
one of the big unknowns this tournament, Antocalyptica. Will he perform at his best, or will he yeah, be defeated by the underdog today?
yeah, I
Exciting.
mean, it's the Fristi Roggan Cup. It's special rules. It's a bunch of weird maps. Everything is possible.
Anything can happen with these two.
Indeed, indeed.
They've known each
So,
other for a long time. They know their strategies inside out. So we'll see what they'll have prepared for this match.
I think sometimes they might expect a strategy, but they don't really know it inside out. Uh, at least that's what I got from talking with the players. Uh, but moving on, let's have a look at what they selected to play with. Uh, so Antocalyptica picked Pilgrims and Aftermath as his home maps, while banning Yucatan, and Jonasty picked Hideout and Marketplace, while banning Water Nomad.
I like the choices of Joe Nasty. It's like both. Well, Hideout is already walled, but Marketplace is relatively okay to wall. So those two maps really are
Indeed.
coherent with each other. While with Antocalyptica, it's the other way around. He has Aftermath, which is a very fast-paced, open map. Yeah, where the first 5 minutes are really important, and the other map is Pilgrims, where the start is still a little bit slower. Okay, you need to be used to the special map, but you start.
Very true, but let's not forget that Antocalyptica loves his Nomad start.
That's true. That's true.
Uh, and indeed, like you said, Aftermath, very important to control the first couple of minutes, as we've seen with Jonasty just
Yes,
going
so
for
that's
an all-out
actually
build against Snelly. So that might be
now
a
that
bit of a
you say
dangerous
it.
choice
Yeah, yeah. It's a bold
to allow
move to
that.
pick the map that Jonasty won convincingly the previous round. That's a
Indeed, indeed.
show of
Uh,
confidence, I think.
it will make for an exciting game. I have no doubt about it. Um, but then let's have a look at the Civilization draft. And let's see if there's any surprises there. So for Antocalyptica, we have Magyars, Vikings, Italians, Huns, Byzantines, Celts, and Tatars, with Jonasty saying no to the Magyars. And for Jonasty himself, we have Khmer, Berbers, Malay, Koreans, Persians, Aztecs, and Cumans, with Antocalyptica saying nope against the Berbers.
So one thing that stands out to me is are these sieves the order they picked them in? Like
Yes,
they started from the center top line and then center
yes,
bottom line to the outside. Yeah.
indeed.
So then if I look at Antocalyptica's sieves, they seem very all round, well suited. Also a logical snipe from Joe Nasty to snipe the Magyars for these open maps like Aftermath.
Indeed, indeed. A very good choice there in the draft.
While on the other hand, if I look at Joe Nasty, his first pick was Khmer, which is a good civ, but it's not like
It It does have.
specifically good on like Empire Wars or something. So that gives me a sign that since he chose this as his first Civ, he either feels very comfortable with the Civ or he has something prepared.
Let's not forget that with the Khmer insane bonus of not requiring any buildings to uh, be built before any other ones, you can have an insane, I think, 8 or 9 minute archer rush. So if you manage to pull that one off, you really overwhelm your opponent before he's ready. So it might be that he picked that one for Marketplace, for example, trying to hit Antocalyptica before he's had the chance to even start walling.
Yes,
Uh,
definitely.
for the rest, people who play with Antocalyptica know that he loves his Berbers, so managing to pick that one away from him, obviously a good choice.
Yes. And obviously a revenge snipe from Antocalyptica.
That is indeed what it looks like to us.
So you
And then
see, they
further,
are already playing some mind tricks. That's quite interesting. Even before the match started, they have quite interesting map picks and Civ drafts.
I mean, they've known each other for what, 12 years by now? I think I would be very surprised if they hadn't been playing mind games with each other. But yeah, I have to say, both drafts seem fairly well balanced and not that surprising. As in, there's no one civilization which makes me go, why would you ever pick that one?
No, indeed.
But
These
all
are
right.
all dishes that on multiple maps can be
Mm-hmm.
put into practice. I'm also
Indeed.
looking forward on the pick of Antocalyptica on the very first map, Northern Isles, because he has quite some good options there. I think with Italians, Byzantines, maybe
Italians,
Vikings, but are all
Byzantines, Vikings, all well-known good water
even
civs.
Celts because of their wood bonus are very good on water maps. So
That is indeed a good choice.
while on the other
Meanwhile,
hand,
Jonasty has also some decent options. Malay have a really strong dock and also a really good dock eco with their 3 times longer lasting fish traps. Uh,
yeah, Koreans
Sadly, we
also.
are not playing a couple months ago where fish traps were infinite food.
Yeah, those were the days.
Those were the days. And like you started saying before I so rudely interrupted you, the Koreans is also a very strong pick, as you well know.
You can interrupt me anytime you want, Toiter. Then I have to talk less.
Indeed, and I see that the viewers are telling us to 14, which means let's start the game.
But we have a
All
whole
right then.
evening to fill, guys.
We have
Don't be in a hurry. The hype, you need to build the hype.
building the hype. So,
But
well,
also,
I think we've hyped enough, to be honest.
also we need to do fan service. So let's get into the first game.
All right, let's indeed get into the first game, which is the standard Northern Isles. And let's be honest, I have the game loaded. I don't see any surprises in the civilizations. It's Italians for Antocalyptica and Koreans for Jonasty.
Indeed. Two of the civs we predicted.
Indeed.
Already.
In order to stay consistent with the previous screen, I have put Antocalyptica on the left, Jonasty on the right, and I've given Antocalyptica blue and Jonasty red.
I'll get
just to-
Antocalyptica blue too. And how do I switch the order? That I don't know.
Alt S.
Alt S. I'm very happy to be casting with a pro like you, Neutral Water.
I mean, this is my 4th stream casting, technically, since I took a break between each casting set. So yeah, obviously a pro by now. Anyway, also thank you for Yolatis for the follow. Kron, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, then 3, 2, 1, go. So let's have a look. Jonasty, what will be his first move?
We see
I see some.
ships are gathering. Actually, Jonasty was faster with his fishing ships than Antocalyptica was. That's already a first plus that should give confidence for the future. We immediately see Jonasty going for the landing with 3 villagers and the scouts, so he has planned something.
That is indeed true. My apologies, I had confused myself. I was looking at Antocalyptica, who is...
Yeah, he's scanning with his transport ship, but he did not find it. He passed way too fast. And now Jonasty will be able to land. We also see that Antocalyptica is using his scout to scout his own island, but he's on the wrong side. So there is a window. There's a window of opportunity.
There's a window, but there's already a stable on the main island. And Antocalyptica is house walling from the stone to the wood line.
He's building another stable on Antocalyptica's island. But his scout is...
his scout for sure has been noticed, so he knows that there's a landing. He knows where it is.
Yeah, he's already looking at the other side of his island. He's going to spot the
Indeed.
Stable, but the stable is already up, so he cannot deny it.
Indeed, but those 3 villagers are going to be delicious picking.
He saw the stable, he saw the house.
Yes. Meanwhile, there are scouts in production for Jonasty, and why not start a lumber camp and gather some wood away from the island?
Yes, and also Antocalyptica is thinking, okay, scouts versus scouts. This is something I feel comfortable with. He has his main scout, 2 scouts already queued, 1 on the way. So at the moment he's at a numbers advantage. So
meanwhile, I didn't pay attention, but Jonasty on his home island nicely walled in a villager using a lumber camp. And there's also already a preemptive tower defending both the stone and the gold mine.
I actually like that. It seems like a waste of resources, but it gives Jonasty time and also ease of mind that he can focus on the attack. So I think that's a good decision. He's also already attacking first villager, which almost died.
Indeed, I like it. I would not take that fight. That is... Yes, that
I was able to get
in. That pikeman mixed in there is quite the stabbier.
This really takes the angle out of the attack. Now it's...
And as Jonasty says in the chat, kon beter, could be better.
Could have been better, yes.
Yes. Those poor villagers.
Yes. He was able to...
Are they going to escape? Yes.
Oh.
One villager managed to escape. Meanwhile, there are 2 more scouts inside the stable. But with 4 scouts from Antocalyptica nearby and a pikeman, I don't think they will be able to do much damage. Meanwhile, there's some movement. While we've been discussing the raid by Jonasty,
these 2 fire ships were there for some time, just doing nothing, and only now he's attacking the fishing ships and.
Well, there goes the fishing eco. And also considering that Antocalyptica is now already going up to castle, is almost halfway there. It would seem that the initiative is firmly in the hands of our Italian player.
Yes, also if you look at the population lead, a lead of 10 population, both in military and in economy, seems like a convincing advantage, but of course he needs to be able to close it out. So it's not finished yet.
Indeed. Meanwhile,
for example, Jonasty is still scouting Antocalyptica's base.
And there goes his scout. That was the last scout of Jonasty, who is now also going up to Castle Age.
It's actually quite funny if you look at the point of view of the players. You see that Jonasty knows the island of Antocalyptica way better than his own island.
That is indeed very true. The entire half donut of Antocalyptica is known by Jonasty.
Well, meanwhile, Antocalyptica is working completely in the dark.
Working completely in the dark, only knows where the fishing ship is. And oh, Jonasty is preparing his own fire galleys.
He has 2 fire galleys already. So
Yes.
but he had an unfortunate
Unfortunate de-garrison.
de-garrison on 2 sides of the dock instead of on one.
Oof. Oh, and the upgrade comes in, and now they're fire ships. Unfortunate timing there. Unfortunate.
At the same time, Antocalyptica is immediately going for an economic approach, trying to boom second town center up.
Second town center, meanwhile, 2 docks in the front, spawning war galleys. So Antocalyptica clearly going for naval supremacy.
Well, he wants both. He wants to have both the naval and the economical advantage.
Indeed.
Since he knows that Jonasty is only up at this very moment. He knows that he can keep both. At least Jonasty cleared up the fire ships.
Meanwhile, Antocalyptica just researched stone mining, and he has indeed 16 villagers on stone. So that's rather a lot.
He put his his waypoint of his second town center on stone.
Yes,
that's a ballsy move. He wants to build many castles this game. Or
Knight of St. John asks, has there been any fancy deer luring action yet? Unfortunately, on this map, not.
I have no clue what he's referring to.
Of course you don't.
He's always speaking in riddles to me, Knight of St. John.
But so now the question we have to ask is this by now 22 villagers on stone, which is more than he has on wood, food, or gold? Is that part of the plan? Is he going for some very aggressive castle drops really quickly, or is it just a case of just a random gathering point and then not watching his eco?
He has a few villagers who were on the top stone, who are now waiting by the seaside for a transport ship to go to the middle. So I guess he wants to build at least a castle and a town center in the middle. But by the time he has built those, he has stone for another 2 castles almost. So there the transport ship is coming. So yeah, that was unfortunate. That was a mistake by Anton that he left his transport ship so far away, and now you see the procession of the stone villagers going north.
But the unfortunate reality is there's only 5 places in a transport ship.
Yes,
even with a second transport ship, there are 11 villagers. So both transport ships are full. Oh, and a third transport ship, but there's still 6 villagers. So
now the big question is, will he go to Jonasty's island, or will he go for the safe and silent middle island approach? I think he's going straight onto the main island.
He is going for the kill. I think there's a castle drop incoming with 11 villagers, and I don't think Jonasty has any chance of stopping it.
Does Jonasty have any military on his main islands?
Jonasty has some military, I believe. There is a single spearman. And there are 2 turtle ships. Apologies, 3 turtle ships in the back. However,
will not be in time to deny this castle.
Yes, indeed. Jonasty has discovered the castle being dropped in his face, and he does not appreciate it.
He's making, I think he's referring to the Yasama technology of the Japanese.
Which would be very weird, because the Japanese are not present in this game.
But he's Koreans, you know, Koreans and Japanese are of the same extent, so...
Koreans, Japanese, there is indeed that connection, yes.
He knows his history, that's clear.
Now the question is that university... Oh, that was an intentional university. Just going for murder holes and ballistics immediately.
Yes.
Making sure that the castle is going to kill.
It was very unfortunate. Jonasty also started building his second town center on his wood line And
Mm-hmm.
just at the
Oh,
time that the town center could not be cancelled anymore, Antocalyptica arrived and was able to put his castle right in the middle of the two towns.
oh, and
He's
Antocalyptica
preparing
is
his second castle.
just
That's
going
amazing.
forwards.
That's all of his farming eco and his stone and some woodline. So that's
Oh,
amazing.
meanwhile he's stocking the
Ah, the
castle with petards. So the question is, what is he going to try to plow down? Meanwhile, the turtle
third
ships
ships
are
are
giving
doing
their best, but unfortunately the numbers are just not with them. The 5 war galleys will win over the 2 turtle ships that we see here.
yes, but still it's surprising that 2 turtle ships against 5 war galleys were able to kill 3 of
Yes,
them.
indeed.
So that proves the bulkiness of the.
They are indeed quite bulky with their 200 HP and 50 damage, compared to only 135 HP and only 9 damage for the war galleys.
Also, I think the turtle ships were initially used against the Japanese, so that makes the reference to the Asama technology even more interesting.
Even better. And ooh, well, going from ancient times to more recent times, Imperial Age is coming in for Antocalyptica. I
He
don't
wants
really
to
know
build
what
a
his
third
plan
castle.
is. He has
Building
the
a
4
third
petards
castle.
in his castle.
He wants to build a third castle on the
Oh,
gold, on the docks.
he is building that 3rd castle. That is just going to go down. Nice dodging with the villagers over there. The original town center 2 destroyed, and Jonasty makes a valiant effort,
There go the
making a
petards.
single battering ram.
The petards are going for the town center. Boom,
Oof,
boom, another boom,
boom.
and another boom, and the town center is down. I think
Very,
Antocalyptica calculated how many he needed, how many petards he
I
needed.
think so as well.
He
And
knew
now the
it.
villagers are going after the tower. They're going after. No, I thought they were also going to go after the ram, but nope, that is it. Uh, and now Antocalyptica starts some Genoese crossbowman production. Unfortunately, I think yes, Jonasty
They're
has
nasty.
realized that it's not really holdable against 3 castles on his own island, and he calls the GG.
So what can we learn from this game? I think first we see that Jonasty is in a fighting spirit with his landing. He really wants
Absolutely,
to put the pressure. He is
valiant
taking the
effort.
game to Antocalyptica and saying, "Bring it on."
Indeed, while we know Jonasty more as a casual, let's chill out, let's build something nice type of player. I think he's shown here quite clearly he can go for the throat.
If given the opportunity, he will take a game.
Indeed, indeed. However, we've also seen that Antocalyptica making a very strong impression here in his first Fristi Roggan appearance. His defense is nothing to sneeze at.
No, it will be. You see that even though Jonasty was able to land this the island of Antocalyptica, you see that he was prepared. He was looking for it. He saw
Mm-hmm.
Jonasty scout. Immediately went to look for the army buildings, the stable, and then immediately
Indeed,
prepared a counter army with a
indeed. So very
number.
good read by Antocalyptica.
Yes, good reaction, good
Mm-hmm.
defense, and then clear closing of the game. Never
Indeed,
gave the opportunity for Jonasty to come back. And now it's
indeed.
interesting to see. Jonasty may choose from his own home maps, from his own chosen maps. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see if he has something prepared.
Uh, let's
So,
indeed see, but maybe you can fill the time a little bit while I adjust the matchup overview to reflect the victory that we've just seen.
perfectly well. So, since I have to fill in the time, I will ask you a question, Neutral Voter. Do
Yes,
you
go
know
ahead.
what the 1991 means around his name in his nick? Do
Oh,
you know
I
where it
mean,
comes
I have my suspicions, but I think that's a clear reference to the best year in human history, let's say. The year that I think all of us have been born.
Well, I don't know about these personal details. I think that you have to ask to the players themselves. But I know that Jonasty is a big fan of music, and that in the year 1991, on the 4th of May, it was the Eurovision Song Festival, and Sweden won. So I think that's a reference to that
That
event,
that
since he's a big music fan.
must absolutely be. And here I'm going to reveal myself as an absolute cultural barbarian. I'm assuming ABBA won.
That's not something I have prepared. But
Oh
it
no,
was sweet.
if the song festival was in Sweden, then they probably won the year before.
No, it was won by Sweden. I don't know
Ah,
where.
won by Sweden. Okay, then my money is on ABBA.
Yeah.
Uh, an interesting factoid, I think most of the songs that have gone on to score well or even win the Eurovision Song Festival, almost all of them written by Swedish composers.
Oh,
Just a fun fact.
that's a fun fact.
But yes, so let's go on and yes,
I
my
loaded the second game. I will pause.
yes, while I
Oh,
indeed prepare and put that game in the correct folder. Uh, so Jonasty has to now uh, choose from his own home maps.
yes, so
Uh,
we have to choose between Marketplace and Hideouts. I cheated, I already opened up the game. Which one do you think he will pick?
well, I will admit I kind of know a strategy that will be applied here. I will be very surprised if the second game is not Hideout. Uh, and I also have been informed this is the first time that this special rule has been invoked. The second game, Jonasty has invoked the rule Capture the Relic. Uh,
Indeed, I'm already in the game on pause, waiting for you to arrive. But
mhm,
indeed, I see it's Hideout. Capture the relic on a 6-player map. So that means that
indeed.
Jonasty already knew what he was going to pick for Hideout. We also see that he has prepared something. So I think if Antocalyptica doesn't know what Jonasty is trying to do, this
Mhm.
might be a quick loss.
This might
I have my
indeed be
suspicion.
very quick. I also have a suspicion. Uh, and let's see if that gets carried out, shall we?
Yes.
So, 3, 2, 1, unpause. And indeed, we see in the middle of the forest there is a relic in a rocky cleared area. And Jonasty, he has studied this. He immediately uses the Khmer bonus,
Yes,
goes
he's
up to
going up.
castle, two villagers building a house, couple more villagers building a stay. I am looking at Antocalyptica. My apologies. Uh,
I'm
uh,
looking at Jonasty, and you immediately see that he goes up to castle. He's building houses towards the middle. It means that
mhm.
he's thinking about giving himself a safe passage, because it's actually quite an imbalanced map. If you look at Antocalyptica's hideout, he has
Indeed,
direct access to the woods within
indeed.
his own walls, while Jonasty was actually annoyed by the map generation, I guess, because he has to build new walls to reach the middle safely.
That is
But
indeed very
but
unfortunate.
what do we
But I
see? He's
think,
going up to Castle Age, and what can you do in Castle Age? Neutral
well,
waters,
as Khmer, well, basically as any civilization, in Castle Age you can build a castle.
and you already have the resources for it because this
Indeed,
is
because you
capture the
start
relic.
with 800 stone, you have more than enough stone to build your castle, and the Khmer ballista elephants, they can cut trees. So we
Indeed,
see
that's
heavy
we will.
market use immediately. Ooh, I'm not a fan of the placement of that castle, to be honest. I know it defends the monastery, but I would have placed it opposite the market, like next to the gate, like
I would have
defending really
placed
the passageway.
I would have placed it a bit within the initial walls, but indeed more to the south.
Yeah, that would have also been
But
an
it's,
option.
it's
Yes,
always a difficult thing, eh? Of course, if you want to apply the strategy, you need to be sure that your monastery is 100% safe. Because if you lose access
indeed.
to that one, you're way behind
Then
in villager count and so on.
indeed, and let's be honest, Antocalyptica reaching a very nice castle age, and he's sending
He's sending
all the
villagers
villagers
forward.
forward.
He knows what is happening. He feels
He
something is there, and he thinks, I need to do something about it. I need to
he
try.
needs to do something about it. He's throwing all the resources he has at it.
We're
There's
5
just
minutes
one.
in.
There's one villager that was going to build a town center. He changed his mind about the location of it,
Yeah.
and then goes
I
for a
think that's
house.
a weird
Indeed,
choice.
he's housed. Antocalyptica is very much housed,
Yes,
sending
indeed.
his own monk.
In the meantime,
Meanwhile,
the Khmer elephant has been
has
conceived.
been
He will
built.
immediately start cutting through the forest. This was clearly a practiced strategy. He has 2 Khmer elephants going for the win.
That is, I think this is going to be a very quick game.
In the
Very
meantime,
much in the favor of Jonasty.
Antocalyptica's shepherds are almost halfway.
They are almost halfway. Realistically, I don't think there is anything that he can do right now to stop this. Don't cut those trees. Cut. You don't have a path yet to the relic. Cut the other trees. Don't
But he's keeping.
know.
It's okay. He's keeping his ballista elephants close, so that's the good thing. He can immediately shoot a tree if he wants to.
That is
I
indeed
think
true.
it's going to be a massacre.
He should realize quickly that his monk is not advancing. Okay, he notices. And then,
Indeed.
well,
At the same time,
okay.
the scout of Antocalyptica attacked one of the palisades and he immediately saw the ballista elephant. So I think
Mhm.
he's crying in himself. He's trying to build a castle, but he will be way too late.
Building way too late. Even if that castle goes up, even if he gets through the walls, there is no way to stop it. This monk is bringing that relic and the victory along with it home. And Antocalyptica realizes what's going to happen and he throws the GG to Jonasty. Which just goes to show you have to be prepared here. And Jonasty throwing the shade with an Amoeder.
In 8 minutes 16, that must be a devastating loss for Antocalyptica.
Psychologically, that must be a blow to Antocalyptica. That is a strong one.
Jonasty is even referring to his mom.
That is just as his name says. That's nasty. He is being absolutely nasty. Wow.
Today we're seeing Jonasty's cutthroat personality. In the first game, immediately going for the landing, trying to take everything he could.
Indeed.
Yet falling short, but in the second game, he's showing Antocalyptica, yes, I'm prepared, and you should be scared.
Meanwhile, I've remembered to update my scoreboard, so it's now 1-1 in this really exciting series. Let's be honest here.
I already consider this an upset because
this is a complete upset.
Yeah, where Jonasty is coming from, where the normal expectations would lie.
Indeed.
Even if he wins this set, he will need to step up his game for the next round.
Absolutely, and this just goes to show, much like in the series between Rob Rockhart and Frobenius, study the rules, and you can utilize them.
Indeed.
It's the rules are there. You can look at them, and you can find these loopholes.
They're there for a reason.
Exactly, it's this type of thing that we were envisioning when we came up with these rules.
I see in the chat, Yolatis is putting on a crying face. He doesn't like Antocalyptica to lose, apparently.
Oh, or as I remember, the draft between you and Yolatis has been done already. I think even the games have been
Let's
played,
not
right?
spoil it. Let's not
Let's
spoil
not
it.
spoil. Let's not spoil. Let's only remember that Yolatis is seeing something he doesn't like. Let's leave it at that. Okay, so back to the overview. Crushing victory by Jonasty over Antocalyptica.
Way
And
more convincing
meanwhile,
than the game.
very convincing. And I'm using this time just to copy the game to the correct folder. Uh, Now it's the turn of Antocalyptica. I have the map, the folder with replays and the civs on one screen, but I'm intentionally not looking at it. What are your thoughts, Kron? What
So
will Antocalyptica choose?
first he has to choose between Aftermath and Pilgrims.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Aftermath is more of a standard type of map where it's very fast paced, Empire Wars, immediately going forwards and taking the initiative.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he will want to keep that as his last map because uh, he wants something that he's comfortable at, where there are less tricky strategies to be a final map. So that means that he wants to take Pilgrims first because there you
Mm-hmm.
never know. It's a bit special. Nomad start. You can have bad luck with map generation where you end on the island if you have
Mm-hmm.
12 wolves on your path. So
Indeed.
it's more a little bit more luck based. So I think he will take Pilgrims first, and then you
I
have
fully agree with that analysis. Pilgrim sounds like a logical choice just to get back in the comfort zone after the hideout crush that he just received.
indeed.
And then civilizations.
Which
Nomad starts, it's always nice to start with the Huns. I feel my Nomad start is always a bit chaotic. It's like, oh, I forgot to build houses, and then there's a lot of stuff going on. So just using the Huns for their housing bonus is, I think, a really good move here.
I think the Tatars he will want to keep for Aftermath. And then
Yeah, yes.
Byzantines I think he would prefer on Marketplace. So I think indeed it will be a choice between Huns and Vikings.
hmm And then for Jonasty, mm, uh, I don't. There's not really one civ that yells nomad start to me.
No, but there's
Mm,
one civ that yells water, Malay.
that is indeed a civ that very clearly yells water.
Although
Um,
Persians good in a nomad start? For example, the Persian douche.
the Persian
Because
douche is
it's
always an
interesting.
option.
If he takes
Uh,
Persian and he is lucky enough to land with his villagers right next to Antocalyptica's first town center, he can immediately
that would
arrive.
be
That would
devastating
be
indeed.
that would be a nice strategy.
Also, if I remember correctly, the Persians get enough bonus wood so they can immediately build a dock as well, without like too severe penalties, if I remember correctly.
I don't know the exact bonus as well, but that if that's the case, that's a very good bonus because you can. Well, the problem is you can build a dock, but you cannot build fishing ships probably
That is
because
indeed
you have to
also true.
wait for your town center. So then the bonus is
hmm
maybe a bit less valuable,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
still,
it's
you get your fishing ships out faster. That's true.
indeed. So I think both players have some very strong options, and oh, I will load up the game. Also, let's not
I
forget,
will
Pilgrims
also
is a
load up the game.
regicide map.
Oh, I forgot about it. So
Yes.
I just opened the game. I'm at second five, and indeed, we are correct. It's pilgrims, but we're
All
not
right.
correct.
I
Civs.
have somewhat fast forwarded to second five. Uh, Let me fix the colors. Okay. Are you ready to start? Hotkey the
Yes.
King says Joe Nasty in the chat. Thank you. I will use that. So one, two,
Wait,
three.
wait, 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 wait. You still need to share your screen, I think.
I still need to share my screen. See, thank you. This is why I have a co-caster. Otherwise, people would just be looking at the matchup overview all the time. But
Before we
yes,
start, or we can start already, we'll see what
yes.
happens. You
3,
can do
2,
it.
1, go. And
Perfect. The Civs.
indeed,
So we were thinking about Huns versus Persians, but it was the other option that was in our mind. It's Vikings for Antocalyptica and Malay for Jonasty. So also two excellent Civs to start.
okay. So I have some unfortunate news. I cannot hotkey any units in Capture Age. So hotkeying units only works in the normal viewer in Age of Empires itself. So unfortunately, I cannot guarantee that we can follow the kings at all time.
And we see a very, very nice first start. Jonasty is first on the mainland, immediately building a town center, and Antocalyptica is in this exact same area with his king, but less villagers, only 3 villagers instead of the 4.
Indeed. And
So this is an immediate advantage for Jonasty. He also found some Turkey. This could be a disaster game if he
this
doesn't.
is indeed the map gen favors Jonasty. He's got a relatively defensible town center as well, but Antocalyptica is going more towards the south, where he will have some.
Is going for the farmer approach, not the farming, but the farmer. He wants to collect all the Turkey on the map.
Indeed, indeed, and I don't think that's a bad choice either. Meanwhile, Jonasty's town center is up already, but he doesn't realize that he is terribly housed.
He's housed.
Indeed, and now there's 2 houses being constructed. In the meantime, there's another house on his main island. Well, main island, on his island back home. There's actually
Still,
2 houses.
If you look at the idle eco time, you see that actually Antocalyptica has more idle eco. I think while he was building houses on his starting island, he forgot to reassign some of the villagers to work.
And meanwhile, Jonasty now has a working town center. So, actually, I like the start by Antocalyptica a little bit less than Jonasty's.
Indeed, indeed. The only thing that we see is that Antocalyptica is really going for the not CO2 friendly approach, herding all the animals.
Indeed, and strip mining the land of all the gold.
Oh, we need to be careful. There's a villager of Jonasty being attacked by 2 wolves. Will it be saved?
And he doesn't have loom, but he should be able. He garrisons it safely.
Excellent catch by Jonasty.
Indeed.
I'm actually thinking. So one thing that we can like a lot about Antocalyptica is that he used his king to scout a lot of the mainland and grabbing a lot of turkeys.
Indeed.
If we look at the point of view of Jonasty, he has scouted way less, and I guess he kept his king always in his town center.
Indeed, so he went for the safer approach.
Yeah, that's one thing that strikes out. If you look at the number of turkeys, he has 18 turkeys at Antocalyptica, while there's way less for Jonasty. So even if it's a little bit slower.
But Kron, you should have a look. There is 1 turkey of Antocalyptica that is completely stuck in the forest.
Wow, that's unfortunate. I think he will hit his head for not freeing this turkey immediately with his woodcutters.
Yes. Well, life finds a way. I don't know how it's, reproduced in the middle of a bunch of trees with no access to any other turkeys, but
it could be the other way around. Maybe these are extremely fast growing trees, and the turkey was conceived first, and the tree came after.
That is also possible. Meanwhile,
Never forget, it's a computer game. Anything is possible.
Hmm. Okay, Jonasty just built a mill, but this placement seems a bit odd to me. Like, is it meant to be part of a wall?
What I
I'm not
think,
completely sure.
what I think is that he wanted to go to feudal age, but he only had a
That
lumber
must
camp.
be it.
Since houses do not count, he had to build a mill very, very quickly in order to go up to feudal age. One thing that is quite striking is that even though Antocalyptica has been able to reduce the gap and actually have a lead in villager count, it's Jonasty who's going up to feudal age first.
Indeed. Also, let's not forget Malay researched their age up time techs 33% faster.
Yeah, he's a full minute ahead. That's nothing to sniff at.
Indeed, indeed. And he has the wood to immediately plonk down a barracks, uh, followed by a stable, and do some raiding with scouts, for example.
Antocalyptica is doing a power move on the right side with his turkeys. Check it out.
He is he is building an enclosure.
He's saying, I don't need these turkeys. Instead, I will build 3 docks and just start fishing.
He is indeed going
Because,
for the fish boom with 9 fishing ships. Meanwhile,
because
being supremely housed.
it's not enough to torture turkeys. I also need to overfish the ocean. He's really being a bad boy this game.
Indeed. Antocalyptica, if you're listening, we know you're from Antwerp. You don't need to reproduce the Antwerp Zoo in the game.
Do they have
Uh,
turkeys in the Antwerp Zoo?
I doubt it, but I think this is the closest you can get to an actual zoo.
Well, you have a lot of turkeys in Antwerp.
Dead ones in the butcher shops, yes. Meantime, uh, I see a market and a blacksmith for Jonasty, which to me indicates that he wanted to go fast castle, but he doesn't really have the food for it.
Oh, he's lacking some food. He has the gold, but he's lacking some food.
Indeed. I
Maybe
think
he
the
thought
different
he could.
starting resources in Regicide were threw him off just a little bit,
Yes,
and
and
that
I think
screwed up his build order.
it's also because you can't sell your stone, huh? Because you need to build a town center. So you cannot use your stone to do a really
Indeed,
really fast castle.
indeed, very true.
At the same time, Antocalyptica is preparing to go to Castle Age. He only needs 100 food.
Indeed, and then he will have quite a technology lead, and especially since he's Vikings, he already has wheelbarrow. Apologies, automatically researched, so his
He has
villagers are more efficient.
he has a healthy villager lead together with the free wheelbarrow.
And we see some galleys being produced by Antocalyptica, so he is once again going for naval supremacy, or just trying to cut Jonasty off of all the fish resources. However, in this case, I don't think it will do much. At most,
Well, what
once he
he could
gets
do
some.
is if you look at the gold on the starting island of Jonasty, that's something that galleys could reach. So he could be quite annoying on that starting island.
Indeed, I was just looking at that, and with a range of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this female villager right at the edge could be reached by some galleys. But as soon as Antocalyptica reaches Castle Age, researches Fletching, gets war galleys, then for sure this gold pile is no longer safe at all.
We
Yeah, and we
also
see
see
both
that,
players going for kind of a walling approach with their houses.
but
Um,
you see the difference in speed. Antocalyptica has chosen to get a big fish boom going on. He already has like 9, 10 fishing ships, while at the same time Joe Nasty does not. And so to get his food income, he needs to go to farms. which means
Mm-hmm.
that he's not only slower, but he also needs to invest wood into his food eco. So in that,
Indeed. And also, as you can see, Antocalyptica still has 4 fishermen at home, and they are cleaning out the shorefish, which is actually the fastest way to get fish with any unit.
nothing is safe
Uh,
for this guy.
Nothing is safe, indeed. And Jonasty does not have this. He has nobody who is doing any fishing, neither fishing ship nor any normal fisherman. And Jonasty is going up to Castle Age. Uh, Meanwhile, I saw some stone being bought by Antocalyptica, a second town center going up, War
Indeed,
Galley being researched, fletching is already in.
he wants to go for quite a big boom. I think he's immediately
Indeed.
using house walls for his to protect his eastern side.
Oh, we discussed Antocalyptica using the galleys to range the gold on the Jonasty's starting island. That's a possibility, but he doesn't know about it. He has not scouted
Indeed, he did not scout,
Jonasty's
so
starting
he
island.
built 5-6 war galleys
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
And now two longboats. I have a feeling this might be a bit of an overcommitment to water by Antocalyptica.
Indeed, he's investing a lot of resources there that are not only
Oh,
less useful in the situation, but he's also not using them to scout or to do something. But now he's moving his war galleys. He's immediately recognizing the gold there on the first
indeed.
match.
So
Immediately
that
attack.
is painful. However, I don't know if you have been paying attention to what was going on in the base of Jonasty.
I
Two
have not
stables have
to
been
steal.
built, and look what's garrisoned inside.
We see his favorite units coming back from the previous matchup.
If he
With
can't be Persians, he will be a civilization that can build battle elephants.
indeed, so if Anton doesn't respond quickly,
Well, the problem
this
now is I think
theoretically
that
become very painful.
this can become very painful. However, I don't know. I don't think that Antocalyptica scouted it. No, he hasn't.
He hasn't
Uh,
scouted it, but he has still built a correct response. He has a monastery
Indeed.
and a monk already on the way.
Probably he found a relic. Yeah, there's a relic just outside his base, which he actually can't reach.
Well, he could theoretically reach it by going through
Oh, yeah, the monk is.
through the base of Jonasty.
No,
Oh, he made it
Antocalyptica just
invisible.
decides, screw
Yeah,
that, we will just make a hole in our wall. Uh,
but
uh,
it's actually
and
quite striking that
oof,
Antocalyptica has 4 town centers, but his idle TC time is less than that of Jonasty, who is badly housed at the moment.
he is badly housed and has been for a while. I think the stress of suddenly having this giant warship raid on his
Yes,
starting villagers, I think that caused him to slightly lose track of what he had to do. Uh,
threw him off balance. Yes,
I think that's indeed what that was. Um, but in the yes, I don't like the distribution of population anymore. I like the start of Jonasty, but
he had a
he
good
fell
start.
behind. Meanwhile, there are 6 battle elephants on the field, with a couple more
And
being
Gareth
produced.
said he will try something. Maybe he noticed that relic was captured and that he now has a way to enter the base. No, he didn't scout it. Oh, he doesn't even know where Anton is.
Oh, he
He's
doesn't
needs to
know.
scout around. He doesn't know. Anton
Oh,
is right,
he
Jonas.
he
No.
did scout with his transport ship, I assume. He scouted the docks, so he assumes that's where Antocalyptica made his base.
Oh, that's
So now
very.
these
unfortunately.
these chunky boys are making their way to the docks, but they're not really going to do any damage. I think.
This
I
is so unfortunate.
I think Jonasty realized that no, he keeps advancing with the elephants. He is trying to find the town center. I don't think that is going to work too well. No, and by now I expect Antocalyptica to have seen this group of elephants. I
He
don't
knows
think this is.
he knows they're at the wrong side, so he's in no rush. He's building a castle and also immediately university. It's becoming a trend in his games that he
Indeed, and
builds his
also
castle
he's queuing up
university
two
at the
more
same
monks. He is preparing the monk defense against the very slow, easily converted battle elephants. Yeah, I think
He's also almost at triple the number of villagers of Jonasty, and he's even going for more Turkey in the north.
he is going for more turkey in the north. Meanwhile, the turkey in the woods is still chilling. Um, yes, a couple more, and Imperial Age coming in. Castle
With less
defending the
than 100
king.
villagers. That's not what we were used to, Anton.
That is
Apocalypse.
indeed not the typical booming Antocalyptica that we know of.
Yeah, he even has now he has more idle TC time than Jonasty.
Mm-hmm. Now husbandry coming in, so the battle elephants will be 10% faster, but I don't think it will make any difference. Now
Going the
also
right
murder
so
holes
he
being
will discover
researched.
he will
Uh,
discover his
pikemen, scale
first
mail
time.
armor. I expect there to be some barracks being constructed. Yes, so he's Antocalyptica
So
is committing to the
now
monk and pike
how will
defense.
Apocalyptica react? Jonasty is patrolling, keeping
Jonasty is patrolling.
Apocalyptica
He
inside his base.
ooh
Is there
found
a
the
hole?
hole just in
Ooh, no, there's
time.
no hole.
Oh no,
That
there's no hole.
that
Because the
was
palisade wall was just built, I think. Oh no, even without the palisade wall, there is no way to pass there. Meanwhile, now I see four elephants being targeted by the monks, and then being retreated. Yes, Antocalyptica locked the palisade gate, preventing any accidental
he's scared.
opening.
You only do that if you're scared.
And we know Antocalyptica, he's always scared. Especially after last game, he should be scared of what Jonasty can realize.
That shows what Jonasty has been able to do this match. He has been able to make Antocalyptica scared of his tactics and his resourcefulness.
Indeed. Uh, heavy market use by both players, going for a lot of stone. Jonasty,
See what is happening in the right corner. Antocalyptica is trying to finish this in style.
he is going for the
Building a
wonder.
wonder. How will Jonasty react? There are quite a lot of villagers who are doing nothing at the northern wood line. Antocalyptica
He
is
is
finishing them.
building a castle, but it's
I think
yeah.
Antocalyptica made the wrong choice. He should have built his wonder one tile from the edge, because now he cannot use all his villagers to build it.
Also, there are some villagers.
Yes, that's indeed. They are
Yeah,
idle because
there's
the
seven
one
villagers that, like
side
you
cannot
said, will not show up idle, but they are idle. 8 villagers even. So 8 out of the 38 that he sent there are just hanging out.
I think that shows us how hectic these games can be if you can make these type of mistakes like that, even when you're ahead and
Mm-hmm.
think that you've got the game in the bag. It's easy to make
Indeed.
like that. So it shows how hectic and frantic things can be.
Indeed. Also, look at the 8 monks that have been created in order to defend against this. And Jonasty is going for the light cav in order to counter the monks that he knows are there already. And Karambit warriors in order to flood the enemy. Which I think he will need against these pikemen, which will shred through both the battle elephants and the light cav that Jonasty has. Jonasty trying to get some scouting in with his light cav, but Antocalyptica calmly plugging the holes with some houses.
I'm sure that Jonasty knows his counter units. He has seen a lot of monks from Antocalyptica, and his response are the light cav. That's the correct choice.
Yes. Meanwhile, siege workshop being constructed near the base. So that is also a good response. Both pikes and monks are quite weak against siege, especially Viking monks, which cannot have redemption researched. So they cannot long range convert onagers or scorpions.
That's a very good choice of Jonasty. So actually now the game is only beginning. The wonder is almost finished.
The wonder is at 87%.
Will he be able to bring it down?
Meanwhile, there's a second Viking castle being constructed next to the town center as defense in the line leading up to the wonder. And here you start to think that maybe this enclosure of the turkeys that Antocalyptica has made, where he has locked the palisade gates. I mean, this is...
No turkey may escape.
No turkey can escape. This is just animal cruelty at this point. Let's be honest about that.
In the meantime, the wonder is finished, and I'm actually quite astonished with the type of wonder, because the Vikings, we see the wonder as a church, but the Vikings were not a Catholic group of people. They were polytheistic Norse.
That is indeed true. However, the Vikings are based on the Norwegian population, and at least after the conversion to Christianity, one of the characteristics of the medieval constructions in Norway are these stave churches, specifically the Bogun Stave Church.
When talking about conversions, you can see a big battle going on. Antocalyptica converting many of the elephants of Jonasty, and even then healing his elephants while they are attacking those of Jonasty.
Mm-hmm.
But we see that Jonasty was able to break through his karambit skills, the building wall of Antocalyptica, and he's now able to enter the game, we can say.
Indeed. I wonder what's...
quite a bit of karambit warriors, and they are not being attacked. Oh no, they are being attacked by...
They are being attacked. They're just really quick. I wonder what he will target. Is he really just going to target the wonder? I don't think this is the way. This is not really giving you any... this is not giving you any damage in. Meanwhile, also a Karambit warrior being converted. That's a little bit of a waste of a conversion, but okay.
Well, he was able to get 20% off of the wonder, which is more than I expected.
That is indeed true. I had expected it to last a bit longer.
Guys immediately repairing the wonder, even building an extra tower.
And he is sending the villagers in order to repair the building wall. And now the battle elephants that were so crucial in distracting at least part of the army
These are
Uh,
the well-known historical battle elephants of the Vikings.
Absolutely. They are now holding and they are positioned to defend against any future invasions by the Karambit warriors. And in the north, a house and another market. Oh no, the market had gone down, so Antocalyptica is replacing his markets, and it's being used as part of the wall in the north. But I think there's a gap between the two monasteries. Meanwhile, once again, heavy market use by Antocalyptica, selling wood for gold. Indeed, if we have a look, he has 44 villagers on wood, 45 on food, 0 on gold, and 5 on stone. So all of his gold income is now just the one relic that he has access to.
And this market, he's been selling a lot of wood.
Indeed.
In the meantime, Jonasty is going up to the Imperial Age, trying to take advantage of his
Indeed.
technology there.
Uh,
But I'm actually wondering, do we have a way to see how many years are left?
I cannot see it in Capture Age. I will quickly have a look and see if there's a way. Yes, there is. At the moment, there is 106 years left before the Wonder victory.
100 years, Jonasty, that's all you need. Give it your best.
I think what Jonasty needs is he has the stone for it. Plonk down a few more castles, and it's very hard to stop just a constant flood of Karambit warriors. He is, now that he is in Castle Age, Imperial Age, excuse me, he is also making the trebuchets in order to take down. Well, first he's targeting the wall. I was hearing some dead sounds. Oh, it looks like Antocalyptica has removed some of his eco units in order to make space for more military units. And let's just have a look at it. 63 pikes, 10 monks, 5 battle elephants, a single Karambit warrior, 4 mangonels with a 5th one on the way, 2 trebs. That is quite the defense that Jonasty is going up against, with only about 20 Karambit warriors and 4 light Gav.
I think
hate to say it, but
tough nut to crack. He's going for it with his Karambit warriors, going into the hole. But this will be a massacre.
The advantage of the Karambit warriors is they are quick. They are very fragile, but they are speedy. But yeah, if you allow them to be caught, they have no chance against this army. Meanwhile, the original town center goes down to the Treb.
This means that if we could consider the game as sudden death, that Jonasty just won the game.
In a sudden death setting, Jonasty did indeed just win the game. Unfortunately, Jonasty already used his Joker in order to change the rules once. And as we all know, that's only allowed once per series, and that was a painful hit on the Treb. That's going down. And the Karambits, I think now will be proven if there is, like I suspect, a hole. Nope. It will not be. Will it be proven? Come on, somebody just send units between these two monasteries and prove me right. Meanwhile, up in the north, Jonasty is constructing another castle. Unfortunately, that's within range of the original castle by Antocalyptica.
And I don't think it matters much anymore. By the way, we saw the elephants going through your famous hole.
Indeed, so vindicated. There is a hole between the monasteries. And the monk defense, together with the onagers and the battle elephants, just proves too much. Historically well known, the Vikings beating the crap out of the Malay. Yeah, I think at this stage, with 36 villagers remaining and 6 military units, 2 of which are fire galleys, I think, even. Yes, fire galleys.
The
I,
game is
I
completely
think the
over.
game has been played.
Antocalyptica is bouncing back with with a very convincing wonder move, we can call it.
Uh, I think indeed we can call it that. Um,
That shows Antocalyptica wanted to show in this matchup that Jonasty, you're not the only one with tricks up his sleeve. I also have some of mine. I will build
yes,
under
in,
a
I
maze.
think instead of breaking his spirits with a hideout game and a crushing victory in 8 minutes and 16 seconds, if I remember correctly, instead of being discouraged by this, I think it only fired up Antocalyptica even more.
Indeed, that shows that he was not only strategically prepared but also mentally prepared going into the
Indeed,
with Joe.
indeed.
Both are playing top of their game.
And what more can we ask for?
Indeed, we should congratulate both players on their amazing performances here today.
And game over. I will quickly tab over to the other game, uh, uh, to the other screen, and indeed, Antocalyptica has won through Wonder Victory, which I don't think any one of us saw coming when we started this Pilgrims game.
Not indeed, I didn't see it coming, so very nice that Antocalyptica provided us this opportunity.
Indeed. Now we go to another home map
So now it's
of
the second home map of Jonasty.
indeed, and let's
Us.
put 2-1 on the scoreboard. I will quickly move through these screens so that people that are interested in the stats can have a quick look through. But so while I'm busy with this, Kron, tell me, what was the second home map again of Jonasty?
He had Hideout in his first and Marketplace in his second.
Aye,
So
right,
to see a
Marketplace.
Marketplace game, and for the Sifs, I would have to review the Sif drafts. What to expect.
Okay, so we have remaining Huns, Tatars, and Byzantines for Antocalyptica, and Persians, Aztecs, and Cumans for Jonasty. And I've also been informed that for this game, Antocalyptica invoked a special rule, Turbo Mode. So we will see the villagers gathering resources much more quickly, units being created much more quickly. Overall, things happening at a very high pace.
This is actually quite striking that Antocalyptica invokes his rule on not his own home map, but on the home map of Jonasty.
Indeed.
Could it be
My
Jonasty picked this map that Antocalyptica wanted to pick? That Antocalyptica had something prepared.
That could be. On the other hand, I think it might also be a gesture of Antocalyptica to just say, let's have fun and let's see what wacky thing can happen with Turbo Mode.
That's also something for future opponents to look at if Antocalyptica can bring this matchup home.
Indeed.
They will know that Antocalyptica is prepared even on turbo mode.
Showing dominance against all the players that are also watching. These mind games are fascinating. I have, by the way, already loaded up the game.
Oh, I was still thinking about possible civs, but
Oh,
just
apologies. Let's
process.
let's hear your thoughts. What do you think we will see as civs?
Well, for Antocalyptica, I was thinking he will want to keep his Tatars for Aftermath, so that means that either Huns or Byzantines is what we will see for Antocalyptica. For Jonasty, mm, I would think that he would like to keep humans also for Aftermath, so would consider Aztecs or Persians.
Well, my thought before I saw the map was I think Jonasty likes, he likes his Persians.
He
They
likes
are
it.
available.
He's
I
going
think he
for
will
the
take Persians. And then indeed, Antocalyptica, I thought Tatars indeed is the logical choice to keep for Aftermath. And then it depends if you want some more defensive style, probably Byzantines. Aggressive style, that is the Huns all over.
It's turbo mode.
And
He's going aggressive. I
so
just
we
looked
can
at
expect
him and it's
Huns.
Huns. We're getting turbo Huns versus turbo elephants.
Indeed, and now I will be a professional caster and not forget the overlay. Alright, so Kron, are you ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, and go. The new thing about this map that we've actually already seen with Frobenius versus Rob Rockhard is you do not start with a scout, instead you start with 2 trade cards.
Indeed, you have
Which,
trade cards and you have 4 neutral marketplaces in each corner of the map. Which means that if you are able to wall part of your map completely, like a quarter, your own little corner, then you in theory have infinite gold to get from these marketplaces. And you have no scout, so you actually at the start need to use your trade cards as a scout to gather.
uh, indeed, and their speed is a little bit lower, so they have a speed of 1. And if memory serves, a scout is somewhere like 1.3 tiles per second. Somewhere in that range.
Well, my memory is neither perfect nor did I ever know that fact. So
My amount of useless knowledge knows no bounds. And we see that
caster.
Jonasty is already scouting in the direction of Antocalyptica and vice versa. Also, fun fact, it's quite hilarious to see these trade cards pushing deer.
Indeed, indeed.
Oh,
First one.
that
Oh,
trade card goes down. Oh no 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 no.
that's
Well, that is
see that the Huns were not a trading people.
they
Trade card
they
of
do not take kindly to strangers showing up with wares at their gates.
commerce is not their thing. The
Not at
same
all.
Apocalyptica is gathering information, almost seeing the town center of Jonasty, but just
Almost.
skipping the south of it.
Meanwhile, Jonasty performing a board lure. Uh, but I think losing that trade card must have felt so bad for him.
I think Jonasty is flexible enough. He knows that I have 2 trade
True.
cards. The information I gathered with the first one is also just as valuable. I
That
think
is also
he
true.
can live with that.
Meanwhile,
Now
Antocalyptica
that
is
Apocalyptica
choosing
see
to build a mill next to the deer. Uh, Going hunting with a single villager. Oh, another villager is being pulled from the wood line.
Taking a big risk under the town center of Jonasty. He just passed through with his trade cart and saying hello to all the villagers. He went right underneath, but Jonasty was busy luring another boar, so he didn't risk to attack the trade cart.
I mean, I think this again shows some historical accuracy. The Persians were, I believe, much more friendly to foreign traders than the Huns.
Indeed, the Persians are well known for the Silk Road, which connected mainland China with the European,
Oh,
I would say countries, but regions.
Crone, do you see what's happening?
There is a forward happening.
There is a forward happening with about 11 villagers.
Somebody is having fun, and another
Somebody will be having
will
fun.
have less fun.
Indeed. Now, Antocalyptica made it to feudal age, but I don't think that Antocalyptica will be able to profit from that too much, because there goes the town center. And we have a Persian douche. He came in pieces. I'm very sorry, I missed at what stage of the game that message was sent, but turbo mode. The town center is up already. It's arrowing down the town center from Antocalyptica. He's desperately researching Loom. This game just got very, very exciting for me.
This is an all-in strategy from Jonasty. He has just
Indeed.
as much as Antocalyptica does, so he's
Indeed.
all
I think he might benefit from putting a couple villagers, since he has the 800-ish wood. Put a couple of villagers on stone to keep mining stone so that he can keep chasing Antocalyptica and build a town center wherever he goes.
Unfortunately, Jonasty is housed, so he's arriving in feudal age the moment that he's housed.
Indeed. Oof, this is... yeah.
That allows Antocalyptica a bit of time to catch up.
Allows him a bit of time indeed, but he's not that...
Antocalyptica is also struggling a bit, and his mill on his west side, you see a lot of idle villagers already for a long time. So
Indeed. Do you see what's happening? Antocalyptica has a bunch of villagers just standing idle. Oh, now the new town center is gonna come up, but in the meantime, Jonasty has taken a villager lead.
Indeed.
Okay, Antocalyptica is going to castle, but I don't think that this is too bad a position for Jonasty.
Well, you have both an economic lead, and you're also taking resources of your opponent. You're taking wood, you're taking his gold, you're denying his mill, his market.
Indeed. I think if I were Jonasty, I would... For sure there are the resources, just plop down a stable and start chasing down the villagers from Antocalyptica.
Indeed, using scouts everywhere, you know that his forces are separated.
They are separated, they're somewhere. Oh, but I think it's too late by now. The stables have gone up for Antocalyptica and the knights are coming out. So I think that window to do damage with the scouts, I think that has firmly closed. And now, okay, Jonasty notices immediately. And the lone villager in the wood line gets targeted.
Note that these knights do not have any armor upgrades yet, so they are still very...
No, indeed, no armor upgrade, no damage upgrade either, so they're just plain old knights. I mean, that is a bold move to go after the knights with 3 villagers. I don't think that was entirely the intention.
It's a show of dominance. I'm not a
show of dominance, also reducing one of the knights to almost 0 hit points. Meanwhile, he discovers the little base of stables that Antocalyptica left behind, but the trade card that Antocalyptica hunting the Vills.
I think that's a severe blow. Not having any trade cards anymore means that you don't have scouting info. At the same time, Antocalyptica will raid your own mill in the north in your original base. I think
I,
this will be
I'm happy I have a co-caster that is actually paying attention to the game, because the pun that was just made in the chat. Yeah, my concentration is gone for a little bit. So, oh, that is a bold castle.
That shows how annoyed Antocalyptica was with the Persian Deuce. He wants his land back.
He wants his land back, and I think now this is, I think this is basically the game that Antocalyptica likes to play. It's Vil fighting, it's dirty,
Jonasty's making it messy.
I think that's the only way that he can beat Antocalyptica. Make it messy, make it unexpected, and hope that he makes a mistake.
But the knights are cleaning house.
Knights are cleaning house. Meanwhile, it's 25 villagers for Antocalyptica versus the 16 of Jonasty. And yes, 10 of them now are locked up inside the town center. He's already lost 14 villagers.
He has no working villagers at the moment.
No working villagers. The castle is up, is ranging down the town center. And indeed, the original base has been raided. Whew. His economy is really getting Persianed.
Anton is going back to his old strategy from the first game. Just castle your opponent.
Castle your opponent in, indeed.
If you get your castles up.
And we get a repeat. There are once again battering rams from Jonasty on the field, trying to take on the castle.
This is Northern Isles all over again.
Only without the water.
Without the water, and without murder holes.
So
the first castle.
Does Antocalyptica? No, he does not have a university somewhere. I'm somewhat disappointed.
That will save the day.
Yeah, I imagine at this stage the players in their voice chat probably had a chat, and I assume that Jonasty called the GG already and is just allowing Antocalyptica to have some fun at the moment. Because I think it's
a final proud look at his successful Persian douche.
I think it's going to be a 3-1 game match, but I think both players can be proud of what they've shown of their skills here today.
Indeed.
And then unfortunately the villagers are ejected and they just repair. It's Northern Isles again, but it's your game against Dirac Delta. It's repairing the trebs and hopping back in the town center.
Yeah, but the town center is almost fully repaired.
Yes.
It's not over yet.
Well, also the one castle was down to half HP, but it's being repaired now. Meanwhile, this town center is taking out quite a few knights. Like, I think the town center took out 7 knights now, 8 knights. Unfortunately, I don't think this trick will work again. No, there's 4 villagers left.
No, it's over. But still, Jonasty is sticking to his roots. He built another market in the north, and he wants to trade with the neutral market with a trade card.
This is a much more pleasant experience, just following the trade card over and across the hills, and finally Jonasty calls the GG, and I suspect I scroll back, and indeed the town center has fallen. So,
Deserved.
wow, deserved win, deserved win.
Again, the
Every
ball
game,
of Jonas.
basically.
Every game taking the initiative, not giving Antocalyptica time to boom.
Indeed, Antocalyptica, really well known for his booming ability, did not really show it on any map. Uh,
He boomed on Pilgrims, of course, but he was still later with his first TC there.
Indeed, so the initiative was in every game firmly in the hands of Jonasty. Uh,
That's
so
it.
it's only a little bit of trouble converting like early timing to a big advantage, but once that once that goes a little bit smoother, Jonasty is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Indeed, and with this, Antocalyptica has taken the series 3-1 and will move on to the semi-final where he already knows his opponent will be Frobenius.
Indeed, indeed.
What do you
So,
think of that matchup?
uh, well, it's a battle of the mathematicians. I think the best chance is if Robenius can make it messy, then he has a good chance of throwing Antocalyptica off balance. Let's also remember the fact that uh, Frobenius prepared for Water Nomad, sudden death, and then just ignored everything, went to demolition ships, and blew uh, Rob Rockhart not back to the Dark Age, but to defeat.
Indeed, that was a very impressive win. So means that not only Jonasty but also Frobenius has a few tricks up his sleeve, and that Antocalyptica will need to be on his guard.
Indeed, indeed. So I'm. I think the series will be quite entertaining. I do give a slight edge to Antocalyptica. I think he will take it home.
He is still the clear favorite, of course, but
Mhm.
nothing is set in stone. Like
No, but I.
my mother always says when I need to play a game of chess, every game needs to be played. You always have a chance.
That is very true. As we have seen here, with good preparation, you can win any game. Like we saw Joe Nasty taking the win on Hideout with Khmer. Um, uh, Also, this is kind of an announcement. I will put this in the Discord as well. Uh, After this being showcased, like this round of all the games has been played already, so the costs are not going to be affected by this rule. But we've decided that kudos to Jonasty for finding this exploit of using Khmer on hideouts and capture the relic. It is pretty much an almost unbeatable strategy. The Khmer Dozer Relic Hunter, indeed. It is kind of an unbeatable strategy. The only way you can lose it is if you have extremely unfortunate placement of your woodline and your monastery.
Well,
So
actually, if I can intervene, I
mhm.
was looking at the fifth game that
Yes.
Antocalyptica and Joe Nasty provided to us. I loaded it up into Capture Age, and I see that it is again Hideout with Berbers
Oh,
against Khmer. So maybe we can see what Antocalyptica prepared to beat this strategy.
oh, let's have a look. Let's have a look.
Joe Nasty gave Antocalyptica a second chance.
Um, Indeed, indeed. Yes. Khmer and Berbers on Hideout. I'm loading up the game right now.
So even if I understand your decision to remove this strategy from the options, this is still interesting to see if in a second go Antocalyptica will
Mm-hmm.
be able
Indeed.
to convert his knowledge of
Yeah,
the settings.
indeed. Are you ready?
I'm already at second 6.
Then I will go on. So indeed, so we have again rather unfortunate placement. If you look at the map generation,
Indeed. Second time in a
compare.
row.
Oh, and I think Antocalyptica is making use of the Berbers villagers,
Faster villagers.
faster villagers. We see Jonasty doing his build that he obviously prepared, making a house, making a second house, walling off a tiny little section over there. And a market there. I think this is a bit of a mistake.
He's blocking one of his own villagers, no? At
Blocking
the
one
one
of his
side of
own
the market.
villagers. That is, I think this is not the most. Oh, he's not blocking his villagers. Kmerken garrison in houses.
Ah, smart move.
Smart move indeed.
Will he realize that? That's the question. I see a lonely villager in the north.
I am hoping. Why was there no game sound for all the games? Oh. Well, uh, I apologize. Then something in my settings must be off.
I had games.
Yes, but you are not listening on Twitch. It's Knight of St. John who is asking this question. If I had
Don't listen
realized,
to that guy.
I would have fixed the issue. Unfortunately, I didn't know, so sorry.
Why only complain after the fact, Knight of St. John?
That is indeed a little bit. We only just noticed, by the way. So the games were so exciting that you didn't even need the sound.
At the
In
same
order
time, Antocalyptica has already arrived with his fast Berber villagers and is now trying to crush the palisade gates of Jonasty. Jonasty has already built his monk, but will need to be able to keep it safe, because if he doesn't react quickly with the tower on the way,
yes.
Antocalyptica will simply break it.
Indeed, indeed. Okay,
And Antocalyptica is building extra scouts from his home base and bringing them over immediately.
Oof. And the villager forced to hammer it once more. At least some of the house gets constructed. I've now fixed the audio issue. So normally the game sounds should be available to the Twitch viewers right now.
In the meantime, Antocalyptica just broke down the palisade gate and is able to break in. At the same time, this Jonasty is using the same strategy and breaking down the trees with the Khmer Ballista elephants. That's unfortunately, Scout cavalry are circulating the monastery like hawks. They will not leave any monk alive. You shall
not leave any monk alive, and there will be stone walls erected around the monastery.
That's a ballsy move.
There goes the Khmer dozer indeed.
And now we see the power of the elephants again. 3 scouts are attacking it continuously, but the elephant is just saying, like, I don't care. I'll just
it's like a damage per hit. I'm targeting the villagers. Although now it's getting low, but that took a really long time for...
And now the villagers have free reign.
Indeed.
In the meantime, the ballista elephant and the monk are almost through. But how will he get back home?
I don't think... Well, he might get back home, but there is no monastery entrance anymore. Or
Can you? Is there an entrance just at the top? Can you enter diagonally?
oh, that
Because
would be
those
amazing.
those walls are not connected.
Those walls are not connected indeed. That would be amazing. And I thought of
Oh,
something
he's
else.
now connecting it.
He's connecting it.
Antocalyptica saw it in time. He's
Now
connecting
a
the
tower is coming up. I thought of something. I don't know if Jonasty realized it, but I'm actually not sure. I think you can make petars in Castle Age already, right?
I'm not sure. Don't you need chemistry for that?
I don't think so. No. And it doesn't take many petars to break down stone walls. I think only 2.
That would be a good option then.
Ooh, but I don't think Jonasty doesn't have the resources anymore for.
Yeah, no. If you have to put everything in your castle age and going up quickly, while Antocalyptica stayed in feudal age just to be able to make scouts get to your opponents. But at the same time, the Khmer Ballista elephants are cleaning house.
They are cleaning house, and meanwhile, the watchtower, filled with villagers, is making a tiny hole in the stone wall.
Yes, always remember that in feudal age, your stone walls have less HP than in castle age. Castle age they have 1800, in feudal they have 900, so they are easier to break. This is still not a one game.
Indeed, and you can watch a very mathematically.
And the wall is almost open. We only have 50 HP, 40, 20.
I can't
it's
even
open.
select. It's open.
You have to double click the walls, and you'll see the result.
It is indeed open. Can the monk dodge? And the monk goes down. Jonasty doesn't have the resources anymore.
He should have brought his elephants first. Oh, this is painful.
Yes, he should have brought his elephants to draw the. No. He sold wood in order to create another monk.
He has one more chance. One more chance.
There is indeed one more chance, but I think he needs to time this correctly.
Yeah. Now the question is: should you first garrison the monk and then choose the correct time, or should you immediately try to go for it?
I think he needs.
Ah, there it goes. Oh
no.
Oh no.
This is GG. I think he needed to wait until the ballista elephants were drawing fire from the watchtowers.
But I also think that Antocalyptica was watching these few tiles of.
He was probably watching like a hawk. So okay, Antocalyptica has shown that the Khmer captured relic can be beaten. But if we also look at the map generation, this is extremely unfortunate that the monastery spawns.
In the original game, it was the same thing. Antocalyptica is just using his luck, his map generation luck to win this match.
Using map hacks.
Map hacks.
Indeed. Because if the map generation was reversed, I don't think even this extremely successful tactic that Antocalyptica used, I don't think it would have worked if Jonasty could have just used the base that Antocalyptica spawned with, plonked a castle next to that solitary tree
next
there.
Next to the monastery, that's just...
there's no way that this strategy wins.
Unwinnable. But I think even in a normal setup, it should be possible to have more defense ready than Jonasty's approach, because you're using all your food and gold to for your castle age and your Khmer elephants, but you still have some wood left. So maybe you can make some archers to defend while going up to castle age. But of course, that you would have to test to see which resources are still be able to spend while going up to castle.
indeed.
No,
But
I
I
think
think
this is a nice ending of this series, Antocalyptica,
absolutely
destroying the bane of his existence, the Khmer tactics.
getting revenge on the Khmer, indeed. Um, but yes, as I was actually saying before, Kron so kindly remind me that we got a fifth game, and that it was actually played. Uh, we've decided to uh, ban this specific strategy. So Hideout Khmer captured the relic, while it's a really good exploit that you could find in the rules. It's a little bit too much of an almost guaranteed win. I mean, you have to, like this shows here, you have to be extremely unfortunate with the map generation in order to lose with it. Especially if you know what the counter is. I think it's relatively easy to counter the counter as well.
Indeed, if you react
A bit
more
more
quickly, of
quickly,
course, this was a game without pressure, so they just tried out their
indeed.
tactics.
But so going forward in
General.
the next rounds in the semifinals and then the grand final, this specific tactic to be used, like hideout Khmer capture the relic, will be not allowed due to too good.
I
So
think
Jonasty gets the
Antocalyptica
honor
will
of
be.
having broken the system so much that we found that a rule change was in order.
Note that that you're only talking about the semi-finals, of course, and we still have some quarterfinals to go, which were already played. So
Indeed,
you never know which other tactics we might have to ban before going
indeed.
to the
You haven't lived
semi-final.
until someone makes rules somewhere because of something you did. I fully agree with that statement.
That means that
Jonasty is the
Jonasty
reason
is
for a rule.
he's alive and kicking.
Alive and kicking, and he is making his stamp on humanity. Because, of course, this will be recorded for all eternity.
Congratulations, Jonasty.
You made it into the history books.
Hall of Fame of Fristi Roggan.
Exactly. So I will switch back to the matchup overview. Uh, I will also consult my planner. Well, planner, I say. A conversation with Antocalyptica I had yesterday, where I just went over all the castings that will happen this week. So, Wednesday, which is tomorrow, it will be El Kron versus Yolatis, where I am hoping that the legendary Tim will make an appearance as my co-caster. And then on Saturday evening, it will be what is known as the Battle of the Svens, with Knight of St. John, whose real name is Sven, duking it out against Pew Pew Panda, whose real name is Sven. And for that, Yolatis himself will be joining me as a co-caster.
I think since Sven is a Viking name, that's the Sven who was able to pick the Vikings will win this matchup.
That is very possible. If memory serves, Vikings were sniped. It will be a Svenocide. I like that one. It will be a Svenocide,
I
and Yolatis
already
is saying that
see
they're hyped.
there's hype in the chat for the games coming up.
All right.
Well, I'm also very much looking forward to the Pew Pew Panda Knight of St. John matchup.
If memory serves, that is also the one that is closest in the betting pool. The legendary Svenov, indeed. If I go to the predictions that we have, which have been locked by our betting master, better known as Pew Pew Panda, that is indeed the closest. So for this quarterfinal, Antocalyptica versus Jonasty. It was 12 votes for Jonasty to lose, unfortunately, out of the 12. Notice how I started saying the wrong name and then saved my sentence by going to lose. Yes, so Eulatis versus Alcron. Unfortunately, Cron, the bets are not in your favor.
Well, I think it's a bit a similar matchup as we saw today. It's a clear favorite with lots of experience and even playing with the greatest of the game in team matches online like Citeaux and so on. Versus a
Indeed,
small worm like Elcron who has nothing to lose.
you are
But will
so underdogging yourself. I think it will be either a very close match or you will crush him. So I'm a little bit afraid because I think I also estimated that Eulatis was going through. Preconditioning the audience so his defeat isn't as humiliating. I think he's just underdogging so that the surprise is bigger. But then the legendary Svenov has the tightest of all the bets. It's 7 people in favor of Knight of St. John, with 5 in favor of Pew Pew Panda.
quite a close call.
Close call.
Somebody
indeed.
will lose some money there.
Sure, if we had bet any money, someone would have lost it.
We don't have
Luckily,
our own cryptocurrency yet, the Fristi Roggan currency.
The Fristi Roggan currency is bragging rights.
So that
also
as currency.
Also cookies. So,
Indeed.
because
So
I think the winner of the predictions, the price for first place is either Speculaas cookies or Sissimel, which I think both are quite.
Those are very valuable to win.
Indeed.
Love to win one of those.
So then let's hope that you made the correct choices, Kron. All right, now
I'm
it
sure
is
I did.
quite late for me already.
Yes, for me too. I want to thank you, Neutral Voter, for inviting me to this cast. It was a pleasure. It was the first time for me, but with your experience and help, it made all the difference to make me feel comfortable and welcome.
I welcome the praise, but I could not have done this without a good co-caster, and I think we should end on this very appropriate pun, I think we can call it, that Sunesi just posted in the chat. I think speculoos is appropriate for speculating well.
That is a great pun. Thank you.
That is a great pun. I think we will also now just that pun is so frustrating. Knight, I really appreciate the effort, but the effort is
hard.
there, but it's hard to beat Sunesi's puns.
But
I
don't
think
give
also
up. Don't give up. There
keep
will
going.
be many more castings to come, and where you will get your chance.
Indeed. I think I will also have a talk with our betting master and remove the option of taking Systemel, because I think there's just no reason anymore to offer this. At least you tried, indeed. So keep on trying. At one point you will stun me so much that I will just, like I did during this cast, just lose my thread of thought and have to rely completely on my co-caster to save the stream.
When talking about trains, you remember me that I need to take a train early tomorrow, so that means that I will have to leave you with this casting, and
I mean,
I wish
think
you all the best in the further castings, and
well,
I'm sure that
Kron,
Fristi Roggan will keep the success that it has now.
Absolutely, but I think we can, instead of just saying goodbye to each other, I think we can say goodbye to the stream, because I will also end it at this stage. So, for everybody who is watching,
goodbye,
thank you
chat.
for watching. Goodbye, chat.
Goodbye,
Bye-bye.
Wouter.
Goodbye, Cone.
Bye.